Thank you for joining us. I'm Mary Yanez, Director of the Senior Adult Program, and this is Mature Living. Oh, let me tell you, we're going to be celebrating our 50th anniversary in 2019 when the college started in 1969, would you believe? The doors opened of the college, and one of the people that I think were probably around already as a professional, a singer, as an artist, as a director, was Malena Cano. Thank you for being with us, Malena.
Thank you for inviting me.
You've brought some memorabilia that I know Mario is going to talk about. There's going to be an exhibit, a couple of exhibits. So Mario is your hubby, but your right-hand Friday guy.
He's my
coordinator.
He's my agent. He's my props manager.
He's everything. I'm glad he hasn't gotten tired all these years.
Well, it's been a long journey.
A long journey.
Yes.
Mario, tell me a little bit about your planning with the art exhibits that are coming up.
Well, we're going to have it here at the Paso Community College on Building A on Viscount. And the exhibit is going to start on July the 20th, and it will be until August the 3rd.
Yes.
And
it's going to be in the A building of the ASC at Viscount, 9050 Viscount.
Right.
We have a nice foyer out there.
Oh, yes,
in
definitely.
the A building, huh?
Yes. We have a lot of history. We're calling it an exhibition of Malena Cano biographic because
exhibition.
A biographic, that's beautiful. Yes.
Because we have a lot of
photos,
pictures, photos, and actually we're gonna have also some of the costumes that Malena used to wear when we were actually busy, and also it's together. It's gonna be close to about 60 items that we have ready for display.
I can't wait to see it, and I know that people that come into the auditorium and to the boardroom area will be so happy to see and remember when they've seen you, because they call it trayectoria, right? I don't know how to say it in English.
Trajectory.
Trajectory, professional life of singing and acting, and so it's been how many years that you started? You were just a little teenager.
Just a little girl. No, I started when I was about 13, and there's pictures of way back then also, and I feel very proud that my husband wanted to do this.
Yes.
He said, Malena, you deserve it because you've been honored by, for instance, McDonald's Hispanos Triunfadores. I was the El Paso Texas Women's Commission Hall of Fame. And it's been a trip.
Yeah, it's been good, and and we've watched you over the years. You've been at the Chamizal. You've presented in other places outside of El Paso, not just.
Yes. Yeah. So. Well, also, I would like to mention the fact that after the exhibition is done over here at the Paso Community College, we're going to take the exhibition and take it downtown to the main library, which is going to be the first and second floor. And we're going to have it a little bit more, we have a little bit more space, so we'll have a lot more items over at the main library.
Yeah, as we celebrate the college for 50 years, these beautiful photos that were taken many years ago as an example. You have another one that we wanted to show that's going to be, I guess you reconstruct, what do they call it?
This is the first mariachi group that El Paso Community College sponsored way back then.
When Dr. Alfredo de los Santos, our first president?
Yes.
Yes.
And actually it was a class, a mariachi class.
Uh-huh. Yes.
And this picture is from Washington, D.C., and we were sent over there by El Paso Community College and Dr. Alfredo de los Santos, and so
some of the people on there, as a matter of fact, Professor Harry Elias.
Elias. He was the instructor and the director of the
mariachi.
Yes. After that, mariachi started forming in all the public schools.
That's right.
But
and
this
to
was
this
the first
day,
one.
The
and to
first
this
one.
day, these high schools have mariachi groups and folklorico groups, and I see you right in the middle there.
Yeah.
Malena, you were singing with the first mariachi of the college. I love it. I love, the college is going to love these because we can use them also for our 50th anniversary. I'm glad you all are doing this because it takes a lot of work. And I know
Yes.
a lot of work digging through your archives, and you're working, coordinating with the library, with the community college.
Yes. Well, even though, you know, Malena is not performing as much as she used to perform, all the history behind that, I think it's very important for people to learn, you know, that we can talk about it. And not only that, but we can present the history with, you know, photos like this,
Yes.
and the history of,
The
let's say,
music.
posters
Yes.
that we have from way back then. So it's not that we mention it.
And I want to mention this one next to me
So that's the first concert that we ever had. That was
at the Chamizal.
a few years back.
Oh, quite. It was beautiful. And it's good to recognize our performers, our singers in El Paso. It's good to recognize them while they're alive.
Exactly.
Because, you know, I'm sorry to say that, but
Well,
we
they're
want-
alive barely.
but I love our energy. I love your positiveness, what you've contributed to El Paso all of these years. Many people know you, and they'll see this beautiful exhibit that's going to take place.
Oh, yes.
July, let's say it again.
July 20th?
July 20th through August
August
3rd
3rd.
at the community college.
Yes.
And then in
main-
the public library, in the main library, 2 floors.
Yes, 2 floors, and it will be through the month of August.
All through the month of
way through.
August. August the 5th through September the 5th. This is so awesome. How can they get a hold of you, or what are we up to? I know you teach for the community college. You're our professor, our chorus instructor. You were going to be retiring someday. Soon. Who knows when? We keep saying next year, next year.
Well, actually, she doesn't want to mention the fact, the word retire.
Never.
She says, I'm going to slow down a little bit.
That's a
But
good- that's a good
we're
thing.
still very active.
Absolutely.
Every day, every week, it's
Something
we have
new.
something to do, which it keeps us going,
Keeps you
actually.
young.
And I invite everybody to tune into YouTube. I have 63 videos in YouTube, just Malena Cano. And also my senior class is in the Mature Living 269.
All right.
We
That-
recorded here, and I'm very proud of them. They're all from the age of 55 to, believe it or not, I have an 89-year-old.
Awesome. They're awesome, that group of the chorus. They just performed for the Arts Festival.
Right.
Everybody loved them at the community college. And I
Right.
also want to mention that in coming times, we're going to be recording the rondalla. They want a
Oh,
little,
wonderful.
Yes,
a
they're
piece of
awesome.
the action
They're
as
very
well.
good.
Is there a phone number they can call you?
Oh, yes. The phone number is, of course, 915-772-3905.
Very good.
And also, it's, I would like to mention the fact that we hardly ever mention it, but I think it's very important, the musical show that we had at the Chamizal, and it ran for 20 years, from 1994 to 2014.
Yes.
And at that, it was,
Was it Viva
of course, a
Mexico?
Viva Mexico.
was Viva Mexico,
yeah, a
historic-
musical production.
Historic musical.
A
Yes,
historic musical.
historical musical, and we had over 60 members of the cast, you know, musicians, dancers, actors, soloists, and
amazing.
technicians, of course.
Very good. Well, it's a good way to end the interview. It's beautiful. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be watching everything. I'm going to take pictures. Thank you so much for
Thank you,
being
Mary.
here. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Mary. It's
Very
a pleasure to be here with you.
Okay. And we'll be back with more Mature Living guests. And so we want to continue our show by introducing you to Alberto Mesta Jr., who is an attorney with the Texas RioGrande Legal Aid, Inc. And so they're a nonprofit organization. They provide quite a bit of services. And so what we want to do with this interview is to give you some information that I think is going to be very valuable for many seniors and family members that are in this community. You are the lead attorney? Or
I'm the managing attorney for the local office.
Very good. Well, welcome to the Mature Living
No, thank
Show.
you for having me.
You told me you had been here before 7 years ago, and I said, oh my gosh, no, I don't remember 7 years. I don't remember yesterday sometimes.
That's where I'm going as well. Sometimes I don't remember either.
Tell me about the Texas RioGrande Legal Aid and what areas you cover. Are there more in Texas?
Yes, Texas RioGrande Legal Aid, or as we call it, TRLA, is a nonprofit law firm that provides free legal representation for low-income individuals. We are one of 14 offices throughout the state of Texas. Our service areas from El Paso to Austin to the Rio Grande Valley. So we have about 140 attorneys, and we do mostly everything on the civil side of the law, which means it's not criminal, that you don't go to jail and so forth. And the reason we exist is because, unlike in the criminal system, there's no right to an attorney when you have problems in the civil aspects. Civil could be like landlord-tenant, it could be doing a will, it could be sexual harassment, it just could be, having problems with your taxes. So because you don't have a right to an attorney, sometimes it's difficult to actually assert your rights or the defendant's rights, because you have to hire an attorney to do that, and many low-income individuals in general don't have the money to do that.
Exactly. So many calls that I get for people that can't really afford an attorney, but they want to resolve an issue. And this is where you all come in.
That's where we fit in.
And tell me some of the requirements. You just mentioned low income for your clients. What can they expect when they call you? And we're going to give the number in a minute.
Well, the first thing that we do is that we have a 1-800 number. And this is the brochure, and this is the 1-800 number is 1-888-988-9996, and these are a hotline system manned by law students in St. Mary's Law School in University of Texas, so they have some legal training. And what they do is they answer the phone both in English and Spanish, depending on your preference, and they try to qualify you. So the big thing is they're going to ask you if you're a legal permanent resident or you're a citizen, because our funding, we only can represent people that have some sort of status.
Yes.
There's some exceptions, like for example, if you're a victim of domestic violence and you're married to your citizen, or you're a victim of trafficking. And then the second step is that they're going to ask you for your income eligibility, because we represent low incomes. If you're making a good living, we're not going to be able to help you, because then our federal funding says that you have the ability to go hire an attorney. So usually, if you're like a senior citizen, if you're getting public benefits like Social Security, retirement, more likely than not, you're going to qualify for services.
Yes.
And then the third step is that the operator is going to ask you what your legal problem is. And if you're like have an issue with they want to evict you because you complain about, that they're not fixing something, or because you apply for like Social Security and they're denying you.
Or discrimination.
Or discrimination because of your age. That's what's happening now, that a lot of elderly are still in the workforce, and they feel that they're being, discriminated against, or like being pressured to do more than somebody else. So then once you get all the other information, your case is going to be sent to an attorney that practices in that area to see whether we can take the case or not, depending on the priorities that we have on it. So that means like if you're coming in for like a public benefits issue, it's not going to be reviewed by an attorney that just does divorces. Yeah. It's going to be an expert in that field, and we're going to determine whether we can help you or not. And if we can help you, then we're going to send a letter saying, yeah, we can help you, and many times ask you to come into our office and just start the process rolling and ask you more in-depth questions. But in cases that we can't help you, we send you a letter saying, unfortunately, we can't help you because we get a lot of applications, but this is some advice that we can provide you about where you actually can find some additional help. Maybe some agencies, maybe some attorneys that could provide us some of your services at low cost. So we try to help everybody that comes through our door.
So do you have attorneys there in your office, and where's your office located?
Our office here in El Paso is located off of downtown on 1331 Texas, which is across the street from a very good restaurant, the California restaurant.
Oh, I have to go there then.
And usually we have 14 attorneys there in my office. Usually we don't do applications in persons there, except if there are emergencies. For example, if your landlord has locked you out, like, change the locks because you complain, you can try to go to our office and we can try to see you there because that's an emergency. But also we have actually a wills clinic that we have usually every couple of weeks.
For wills?
Yes.
Oh, that's such an important thing that seniors need to take care of. It's business that has to be taken care of.
It is, because a will is in essentially your wishes, what you want your wishes to be done, how you dispose of your property, dispose of different things, and many times that avoids a lot of issues, especially if you die intestate, which means with our will, then sometimes your property gets divided and nobody has ownership, and many times a will can also determine or say exactly what you want things to do, like for example a ropero or something that you've had in the family for generations and everybody wants it, but if you have a will, say like, no, this ropero is going to go to this person, then when you probate it, then they have to respect the wishes. So it avoids a lot of issues there, just having a wills clinic. So in order to access our wills clinic, you can come to our office at 1331 Texas and just ask that you want to sign up for our wills clinic, and then we put you on the list, and then when we have the wills clinic.
Do you have it there in the office? Or
yes, at the office.
Okay.
And then we can when we have it, we have a critical mass of people to do wills, then we can have it there together. So it just facilitates the process.
Very good services. Any other service that I may not have asked about?
Well, one thing related to the senior citizens is about 2 years ago, the Texas law changed in order to facilitate the process of actually transferring property when you pass away. It's called a TOD, which is a transfer on death deed. It's a way to avoid the probate process if the only asset you really have is your house. So what you can do is you can do this deed that says I'm giving my property, my house, to these certain people, but they only take the property when I pass away. Okay. So it means that I automatically transfer the property to those heirs. So you don't have to actually go to the probate court and try to get the court to actually sign off of a will to transfer it to a property or something. So it's a way.
It's something new, huh?
Yeah, it was something new, and because also it helps with a lot of low-income people that many times maybe they don't have the ability to do a will or have the ability to hire an attorney to do the whole probate process. It's a way also to help low-income individuals, because many times low-income individuals, their biggest asset is their house.
That's it. They don't have very much. They don't have boats or anything like that. So that.
No boats
or
CDs.
Well, thank you for being with us. We've just about run out of time. Any last message? I know we want to repeat the number.
Yes.
That 1-888 number.
Yes.
988-9996. Very catchy number.
Yes, and again, we're here to help if you have any legal questions, and if not only for yourself but for your relatives. We help with federal income taxes, sexual assault, sexual harassment. I mean, all civil. So if you have any legal issues, and if your friends or family have legal issues, give us a call. We might be able to help.
Yeah, and I already have one referral that I want to give to you. So we'll work on that. Thank you for being with us, Mr. Mesta. I appreciate it. Alberto Mesta, he is the managing attorney for the El Paso office, is abogado with the Texas RioGrande Legal Aid. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll be back with more guests. Well, thank you for staying with us. We want to continue our conversation here on mature living, and we've invited Bob Warach, who is not a stranger to mature living. As a matter of fact, he has hosted some of the roundtable discussion sessions, and he's always very interesting to talk to. He always has great information for all of us. And of course, he has his elder law practice. He's an attorney. He also has Magda,
Magda,
who is your partner. And so tell me, what is it that you do?
All right, let me tell you, let me just give you a brief overview of this. We do probate law, guardianship law, mental health law, elder law, and real estate. And that's really, you know, the parameters of our practice. If you come in, you need a divorce or you need a criminal lawyer or something, we'll refer you out to somebody.
Okay.
Because we feel that it's hard enough staying up to date in the areas of law you practice. It's really difficult to do it across the board. And then, like you said, Magda Soto is my partner, and she's wonderful, and both of us enjoy doing what we're doing.
Yes.
And you and I were going to talk today, because like you said, I come whenever you're willing to have me on here. I mean, I like this couch.
Yeah, you do.
I do.
And we like having you over here because I know you educate us every time.
Well, thank you.
And I was just going to ask, you've just mentioned a lot of things that you take care of. What are the most common things that people pop up when they come see you?
Okay. So one of the reasons we like these areas of law is they fit together.
Yes, they do.
So if you take care of your probate issues, you've probably taken care of your real estate issues. If you've taken care of both of those issues, you probably won't have a problem with guardianships. But let's talk about some of the things some of the problems that occur constantly in the office. So we'll start off with wills. A will has to be probated within 4 years of the date of death. If you don't, it really isn't a will. Now, I'm speaking generally, and there are certain ways to do certain things, but in general, you want to probate that will within 4 years. So a good example of a problem that comes into my office very often is there's a family, the mother has left the house to, let's say, one of the daughters because that daughter has stayed in town, helped her, and the other kids are out of town and maybe have their own homes or whatever, and that daughter doesn't come in and probate the will in 4 years. So now 7 years later, she comes in to me and says, Bob, I want to sell the house. They won't let me. Why not? Well, because the house is not hers. Had she probated the will within 4 years, would have been hers, do what she wants. What happens now is that house basically passes through what we call intestacy, which means there was no will, and the law decides who gets it. So if there are 3 kids,
they might decide.
They all get it. Each one has a third. Sometimes it works out. The other siblings say, yeah, you took care of mom or you took care of dad. You deserve it. We'll deed it to you. But if they don't, there's not much you can do about it.
And you know, in layman terms, what is probate?
Probate is simply the process of getting the property owned by the decedent, the person who passed away, to the people named in the will.
Through a court.
Through a court.
Okay.
Or, and I want to come back to that in a minute, it's really important. Or, if there is no will, the law tells you who gets it.
Okay.
But what I was going back to, what was really a good point, is a lot of people come in, they write a will, and then they say, so we don't have to probate now. No, no, no. A will that isn't probated within the 4 years, nothing more than that piece of paper.
Non-existent.
You're not going to get anywhere
with it. It's just
with
a paper.
So the purpose is to write a will that sets out what you want and then get it probated. And we are very lucky in Texas. I mean, let's face it, anytime you go to a lawyer, there's going to be an expense involved. But compared to the rest of the country, we have a very expedited and a relatively inexpensive probate process. And you go to a place like California, and one of the reasons, in California, they mostly write trusts now for this reason, but in California, it can take you 3, 4, 5 years to just get a simple will probated, and the cost is multi thousands of dollars.
It drains.
Whereas here, again, it could be somewhere $1,500, $3,000, but you get it done in 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
Now, this is if there's no argument, and generally there's no argument if you go and you have a well-written will. Another problem that comes up with that all the time, a while ago, back in '93, they changed the law. It's in legal terms, it's like yesterday, but you know, it's a long time ago. In '93, they changed the law, and it says, if you die with, if a husband or wife dies without a will, but all of their children are the natural children of that marriage, the decedent's property, the dead person's property, goes to the surviving spouse. Well, that cut out a lot of problems because it would go to the surviving spouse. However, what if it's a second marriage, and what if the decedent had children from a prior marriage and children from this marriage, or just children from a prior marriage? That law does not hold. Then the kids get the property and not the surviving spouse. That causes lots of problems. So you always want to have a will and have it say what you want it to say.
Yes. We've got a couple of minutes left, but anything that stands out to you as we think about, when do we need a lawyer? When do we need to go see, get an opinion, get advice?
Call up a lawyer. It's not expensive anymore.
Yeah.
First of all, like for example, our office. I'm not speaking for all offices, but I think probably most would do this. On a probate issue, we do a free consultation.
That's good.
You know, and we talk to people and we tell them prices, and then they decide what to do. Wills are not prohibitively expensive.
That's good.
Real estate transactions are not prohibitively expensive, but it's just amazing how, I'm going to use a good legal term, screwed up you can get if you just don't go and talk
to somebody.
And have it done properly.
Yes.
Don't try and do it on the internet. Don't try and have a friend do it. It just doesn't make sense. And most lawyers will talk to you.
And in the long run, you lessen the headaches.
Oh my God.
And the problems
and
that
the
can
cost.
And the cost.
Oh my goodness. Can you imagine? Even with guardianships, you know, yes. I don't know that we'll have a chance to really get into that today, but you can even name who you would want to be your guardian if that came about, if you needed one.
Yes. And I certainly want to invite you back again to talk about specific topics of those kinds of things you deal with in your practice, and an example, guardianships or other kinds of documents that we need to think about, how we organize our papers. And
I always want to come back.
I know. As a matter of fact, I want you to do a round table with high school graduates.
I think that would be so much fun.
You know, because El Paso, when you say, oh, you're from El Paso, the first thing they ask you is, what high school did you go to?
Where did you go to high school? Yeah, absolutely.
I get that all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm the one asking also, what high school? And that way you know what area they were from. And now you just crisscross and everybody can go to any school. So
yeah,
you
but
know.
back then it wasn't like that.
No,
You had Austin, you had Bowie, you had El Paso, you had Isleta.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
I think that would be really good for you. So thank you so much for being with here with us.
Thank you for having me.
And it's not the last time we see you, okay?
I hope not.
And it's not the last time we see you all either. So you stay with us on Mature Living. We'll see you all next week.